Just a few tips to help somebody fairly new to wet fly fishing on that downstream and across, or what people call swimming the fly type of fishing. It has its place. Check nymphing can be more successful, upstream fishing can be more successful, and this downstream fishing can be more successful in its day. Anyway, enjoy. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for joining me again. Recent comments on my last video, people were asking what kind of leader am I using, am I allowing the flies to hang, and wanting a little bit more detail about this wet fly fishing. So my leader construction is dead simple. It's anything from about 9 foot to 12 foot. At the moment it's about 10 foot. A single dropper. My droppers are short. I don't like long droppers. I find they just encourage tangles, and they don't achieve anything extra in fly presentation. And it's level nylon. For wet fly fishing, I don't see the point in indulging in different tapers and so on. Now, why I didn't sort of write the information about how to fish the flies is because it's easier to demonstrate with my hand. What I'm wanting is my flies to go across in front of the fish at this kind of pace, not like that or like that. So you achieve this by changing the angle you're casting. Obviously, if the flow of the river gets less, you can cast more square across and keep the speed consistent. The other thing you need to do, or is a good idea to do, is, because fish haven't read any of the books, do try a slightly upstream cast, a very square across cast where the flies come round quickly, because you might actually pick up a fish. So, but on the whole, you want this kind of speed. That's why people that fish large rivers for salmon use long rods, so that they can cast a long way and fish the salmon pool slowly. They could easily reach the fish lies with a shorter rod, but they'd have to be, most of the time, have to be casting very square across, and the flies would get round too quick. And most of the time, when it comes to flies, salmon rather like the things moving slowly across their line of vision. So not every time, but when I get to the end of the cast, I'll pause a bit, which is to allow this cast to straighten out. It's surprising how long it takes a 10-foot cast to completely straighten out. It might be 3-5 seconds extra. And then I'll often, if I'm in the mood for it, I'll often give a bit of a draw back towards me. Occasionally it results in a fish, but a lot of the time it doesn't. When I'm doing these videos, I sometimes record hours and hours of absolutely nothing happening, and obviously to say, well, it would probably be very good to send you to sleep, but it doesn't make particularly good footage. So what you see happening quite quickly most of the time has been fairly well edited. Apart from my last video where I say all the action was in the first hour of fishing and nothing afterwards. So these two wet spider patterns have got a little tungsten bead on the head. It's 2 mil tungsten bead, and that takes the cast just below the surface. You don't want your flies skating across the surface film. Right, so the river's up by about 6 inches. There's very fine rain in the air. The forecast was no rain today, but I've got a little bit of fine rain. Pretty much at the mercy of what's happening well upriver, because there might be a foot or more of floodwater to come down, which could spoil the river completely. There's a little bit of colour in the water as well. So it's come down below me, but by moving the rod further into my bank, I can keep the flies moving across